Not everyone who enters your life is meant to be a blessing. Some are sent as a test. The hardest part is that you don't always see it right away. Sometimes the wrong person arrives with excitement, with butterflies, with endless sweet words that feel like forever. And sometimes the right person doesn't arrive with sparks or grand gestures, but with calm, quiet signs placed in front of you. The real question is, do you recognize them? Or do you keep chasing those who were only meant to test your heart? There are 7 signs you should never overlook. Some will comfort you, and others will challenge you. But together, they can reveal the one who was truly meant for you. Let's begin. Sign 1. Shared faith and values. At first, almost anyone can feel right. Attraction is loud, emotions are high, and you convince yourself the small differences don't matter. But as time slows down, those small differences start to speak louder than the chemistry. You want honesty. They think hiding money is just being smart. You want simplicity. They crave attention. A new car, a new phone, a new show for others to see. You want to pray on time. They treat prayer as optional, something done only when convenient. You tell yourself it's not that serious, that you can handle it. But a year later, it's not a small difference anymore. It's a deep crack. And cracks never stay small. True faith isn't about labels or photos during special times. It's about how a person lives every day. Values aren't found in words. They're found in habits. Do they make excuses, or do they make time to pray? Do they spend to impress others, or to build stability? Do they protect your dignity when they're angry, or use it against you? Here's the truth. Looks fade, passion cools, energy shifts, but values remain. If you don't pray the same way, you won't grow the same way. If you don't believe in the same things, you won't build the same life. When the right person comes, your paths align, not perfectly, not without flaws, but enough that you walk in the same direction instead of pulling each other apart. Because real values aren't shown by what someone believes, but by the limits they refuse to cross. Sign 2. Respect for boundaries. This is the test most people overlook. What happens when emotions get strong? Do they protect your limits or push against them? You'll see it in quiet, tempting moments when someone says, "Just answer. Who cares if it's late?" Or, "Why involve your family already?" Or, "If you really loved me, you'd prove it." That's not love. That's pressure. The more you give in, the heavier the guilt feels afterward. But when the right person comes, everything changes. They don't use your feelings to weaken you. They use their self-control to protect you. Even if it means losing you, they would rather keep what's right. They choose integrity over desire. They value peace over pleasure. That's how you know boundaries are real, not because you have to fight for them, but because they are respected without question. If a love only survives by breaking what's sacred, it isn't love, it's a trap. Sign 3. Consistency over time. You know that feeling when someone acts like you mean everything one day and disappears the next? They're warm today, cold tomorrow, 100 messages this week, complete silence the next. That's not love, that's confusion. And confusion is never a good sign. The wrong person makes you doubt yourself daily, wondering if you said something wrong, if you're asking too much, if you're the only one trying. That constant uncertainty drains your spirit. One moment you feel chosen, the next you feel replaced. That's not how true connection works. When the right person comes, they don't have to be perfect. They just have to be consistent. You don't wake up anxious, wondering if they'll disappear. You don't reread old messages trying to understand what went wrong. They're simply there, steady, respectful, dependable. Not obsessive, not distant, just consistent. Because words mean little without actions. Promises don't prove anything. Consistency does. Anyone can say they're serious. The real test is whether they keep showing up day after day. Without games, without silence, without making your heart live in uncertainty. Real love doesn't appear and vanish like a storm. It stays, even in silence, even through trials, it stays. Sign 4, comfort with family. You can keep someone a secret for a while. You can make excuses, delete messages, hide conversations, and for a moment it feels like you're protecting something precious. But deep down, you know what it really is. A heavy guilt sitting in your chest. Because love that can only exist in the dark will eventually crush you. When the right person comes, it doesn't mean every parent instantly approves or every relative celebrates. There can still be hesitation, questions, or delays. But here's the difference. The path doesn't require endless secrecy. You don't need to live 2 separate lives, one for your family and one for your heart. The wrong person keeps you trapped in a cycle of hiding. Not yet. Don't tell them. It'll ruin everything. The right one says, let's do this the right way. Even if it takes longer, even if it's harder. Yes, that can mean tests, uncomfortable meetings, raised concerns, awkward moments. But at least it's honest. At least it's open. At least it doesn't rot your peace. Because love that's meant for you isn't meant to suffocate in shadows. It's meant to survive in light. It lives when it's seen. It lasts when those who care about you can witness it. Love that only breathes in secrecy isn't a sign. It's a warning. Sign 5. Growth, not decline. Here's one sign most people overlook. What happens to you after they enter your life? Do you rise or do you shrink? Some people feel thrilling at first, but months later, you notice your prayers are weaker, your heart feels heavier, and your peace has faded. You used to feel close to goodness, but now most of your energy goes into hiding, pretending, or dealing with guilt. That's not love. That's decay. The right one, even before marriage, even in their behavior, makes you better. Not through lectures, but by presence. You find yourself praying more often, respecting yourself more, feeling cleaner and more focused. You wake up stronger, not smaller. Real love uplifts. It doesn't drain. True connection doesn't pull you away from your values. It pushes you back toward them. The best kind of partner helps you grow into who you're meant to become, not who you used to be. Ask yourself honestly, are you improving or fading? If you're losing your purpose, your habits, your self-respect, that person isn't a gift. They're a distraction. But if you're growing, becoming calmer, more disciplined, and purer inside, that's a sign. Because the one meant for you will never shrink your soul. They'll expand it. Sign 6. Ease in the path, but not without challenges. One of the clearest signs appears not during the easy days, but during the trials. Because difficulties always come. A family concern, financial struggle, or unexpected delay. The question isn't whether problems appear, it's how they're handled. The wrong person turns every obstacle into chaos, blaming you, ignoring you, or pressuring you to cross lines to keep them close. Every challenge becomes drama. Every delay becomes manipulation. But when the right person arrives, trials don't destroy you. They refine you. They don't humiliate you for being imperfect. They don't disappear when things get rough. They show patience. They speak with respect. They plan with you, not against you. The road might still be steep, but it feels clean, not corrupted. Because true ease doesn't mean a life without hardship. It means facing hardship without losing your integrity. It means your heart stays steady, your conscience stays clear, and your dignity stays untouched. Remember this: a love meant for you will never demand you abandon what's right just to survive its tests. If it only survives in hiding, it won't last. But if it stands firm in the open, even through storms, that's a sign you can trust. Sign 7. They appear in trials, not just in comfort wealth tests people in ways nothing else can. You'll see it in the proposal meetings, in the quiet family conversations, in the uneasy pauses when someone asks, "So, what do they earn?" For some, that's the end, not because of faith or character, but because the paycheck wasn't impressive enough, the car wasn't shiny enough, the lifestyle didn't shout success. And that kind of rejection cuts deeper than almost anything else, because it tells you one thing. In their eyes, you were never a person, just a number. Maybe you've lived that test. You worked hard, stayed honest, remained patient. Yet someone reduced you to your income. That's not just disappointment, it's humiliation, and God sees it. But here's a sign you can't overlook. When the right one arrives, they don't measure your worth by what you own. They notice the honor in your effort, even when your means are small. They appreciate the patience it takes to build slowly, rather than demanding you destroy yourself to impress them. They don't deny reality. They understand that money matters, but they don't make it the center of the relationship. You'll see it in how they react when plans are postponed, when savings run low, when the home isn't ready yet. Do they blame you, or do they stand with you? Do they make you feel inadequate, or do they remind you that sustenance comes from the Creator, not from people? The real test isn't in the wedding day. It's in the waiting days. It's in those moments when finances are tight and instead of leaving, they stay. Instead of mocking, they help plan. Instead of demanding proof of your value, they remind you your value was never in numbers to begin with. That's when you'll know. This isn't love born of luxury. It's love proven through trials. And as painful as money tests can be, they often reveal who's truly meant for you and who was just a lesson in disguise. Maybe that's the purpose of all these signs, not to make love seem flawless, but to help you recognize the tests, the lessons, and finally, the one who's written for you. So if you listened and didn't see yourself in any of these signs, don't let hopelessness take root. If you've stumbled, crossed boundaries, been turned away for lack of wealth or ignored because of status, it doesn't mean you've been forgotten. It might mean you're still being protected. Because in the end, the person meant for you isn't hidden behind checklists or formulas. They're already written. And what's written for you will find you, not a second too soon or too late. So hold on to hope. Stay pure. Stay patient. Stay close to what's right. Because the one meant for you won't pull you away from goodness. They'll guide you toward it, step by step, prayer by prayer, year by year. That's the true sign. May you be granted clarity in your heart, blessings in your provision, and a partner who becomes a source of peace, not pain. And if you made it to the end, write in the comments. May we all be blessed with partners of kindness and faith. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Someone out there might need this reminder today.